I'm hitting the record button, and man, I'm just gonna turn it over to Stephen Richardson, man, the awesome gentleman, business coach, trainer, leader, just killing it over here. Power is for the ambassador. He's like the ambassador of the ambassadors. So I'll turn it over to you, Mr. Richardson. You can introduce yourself, sir. Tell us about your background, all that good stuff.
Well, thank you so much, Mr. Obi. Can you hear me loud and clear?
Yes, sir. Hear you loud and clear.
Outstanding. Well, first things first, I must give it back to you, and I am so happy and grateful that you've been brought into my life. I've always found that when I put a prayer out there, usually I'm not just putting prayers of thanks, but when I send a prayer for some type of guidance or wisdom, it's answered by someone being placed in my life, and I definitely believe that that is you. Your amazing, beautiful family, and just all that you have done for me personally, but especially all that you've done for this organization and for Power as a whole. And I know that you're just an absolute, literally and figuratively, an icon in your other profession. And I just appreciate all that you do and appreciate you trusting me on this platform that you've created. And I have titled today's, let's just say, conversation. And the title is How I Went Tier 3. And yes, I spelled that properly. Yes, I know what I'm saying because that is just how I do what I do. I make a decision. I decide what I'm going to do. I figure out how to do it. I put in the work. And I know that even though something may not have been manifested yet in the physical, it is already done. So this conversation is how I went tier 3. And hopefully everybody, actually has the same type of perspective. And some of you know who I am. Many of you have heard me on calls and seen things that popped up there, but I am most proud of the fact that I am happily married since 1985, be 40 years next year. Proud father. I've been a sales and communication coach for a while. I've been a full-time entrepreneur for the last 20 years. And, let's just say I've done a few things. I've been a few places. A picture of my beautiful family, my wife, my daughter, my son, my beautiful granddaughter, my father, who I've been caring for full time for the past 3 years. He'll be 93 years old next month. And then my mother, who passed away 10 years ago, but definitely is continuing to protect me from above. So, I have been fortunate. I did a few things before I hopped on to the Power platform. And I did make a little bit of a splash in the business building side. Obviously, we can build businesses from bringing on sellers. We can also bring it on the ambassadors. And I was able to, I guess, let's just say I figured a few things out, especially with regards to mindset, with regards to team building, and specifically how to enroll ambassadors on this platform. Now, I always like to remind myself and remind anybody who's within the sound of my voice, whether it's a presentation, whether it's a training, of, how fortunate we are to be where we are, to be part of Power. Even if the ink is still wet and you are just brand new in this organization, this movement, and you don't really know what you're a part of. Well, welcome to the club. Neither did I. But the fact that you are part of Power means that you are partnering with an organization that's in the renewable energy platform. We have expert solar consultants. We have the highest quality solar equipment and battery storage, top tier finance options, certified local installers, best of class 30-year warranty. In the past 4 years alone, we've been able to generate over $1 billion of sales. We're actually over 1.1, but we'll be conservative always. Over $1 billion of sales, over 32,000 installations. That is you. That is your company. When you say there's no they, there is us. This is us. Once you join up with Power, this is what you can say you're a part of. And I am so excited, not just for what's happening, but more importantly, where it's going. So, question for you: what are you doing to build your business? And I'm going to share with you mostly what I'm doing. I've try to get away as much as possible from telling people what they should do. I share people what I'm doing, I show the results, and then I let them choose on what they're going to do because they're going to do what they want to do anyway. This is a statement I've been sharing with team members, with business builders, with professionals for about 10 years now. And I will always share it with you. When you hear me for weeks and months and years, you'll hear that I'm a broken record, but this broken record works. And I want you really to understand the power of this one page. And if I had the discipline, I would end the training after this one page, because this is really it. The success of your business will depend on your organization's willingness and ability to properly connect with enough people, enough times, in a short enough period of time, in order to identify those few people who allow us to help them, with zero emotional connection to the outcome. Now, if your business is not where you think it should be, where you want to be, then all you got to do is go back to this. I must not be properly connecting with enough people enough times in a shorter period of time. Am I talking with enough people? Am I exposing them enough times, walking them through the process, and not letting all this time, all these gap times of not talking to somebody? Am I doing it properly? It's a very simple process. So this is a very simple concept that I remind myself. Whether you're brand new or whether you've been in the business for a minute, our capital is our list. I don't believe there's a single person as great as many of the people on this call are, as much as they've already been able to achieve. I doubt if anybody has really gone through a serious list building exercise and include everybody. Say to yourself, everybody who you could. Now, if you choose to do so, and this is definitely your option, you can just forget all the people who you built relationships with, all the trust and all the credibility and all the respect you have, and you can go out there and talk to complete strangers. You can knock on doors, you can cold call, you can do whatever you choose to do. That is your choice. Personally, I would prefer to leverage what I've been doing my entire life and go back and reconnect with people, rebuild some relationship of credibility and trust, see what they're looking to achieve, and share with them how I have the opportunity to possibly save them and their family tens of thousands of dollars off their energy costs by upgrading to solar. That's what I'm choosing to do. Now, I'm not just going to do either or, but this is where I'm starting. This is the foundation. When you do this properly, you never have to get out of the cold or out of your warm market. Now, once again, you can do this however you want. So what I love about this list, and we've all seen, memory joggers or list building, that type of thing. What I love about this type of list, whether it is family or friends or former classmates. I was at an impromptu high school / elementary school reunion yesterday, and there were about 30 people there, and I was getting as many phone numbers as I could, just saying hello and reconnecting, because those are people who I possibly could help. Every single organization you've ever been a part of, every place you've ever worked, every client you've ever had, every person who you've ever supported, every neighbor, whatever sports team, if you're in the military, if you know somebody. And here's the other key part: not just know somebody, but know somebody who knows these people. Do you know any plumbers? Do you know any realtors? There are people on this call who know hundreds, if possibly 5-figure realtors all over the world because of their career. College students, retail workers, teachers, truck drivers, anybody and everybody can be part of the movement, whether it's as a customer, whether as a potential business partner, or whether as an ambassador. So I challenge each and every one of you, each and every one of us, to go back to the list and be serious about putting everybody on there. Zero prejudgment. We'll go back on the other side and decide if we're going to talk to them and what to say and in what order, but let's build a list properly once. We all know that of all those different categories, and the other things, I go back just for a second, these are not individuals, these are categories. There are dozens and dozens and dozens of people that each and every one of us know directly or especially indirectly. For each of these categories, that equals thousands of people who we could go out and contact. Before we knock on a door, before we cold call, and once again, you can do that. Feel free to even waste money buying lists. Do whatever you choose to do, but it's so powerful, and this is an opportunity that we should take advantage of. Now, of course, the people who tend to be the most successful in this business, businesses like this, especially in the solar industry and renewable energy, are professionals who are already touching homeowners on a regular basis. I went to an open house yesterday with my wife. I'm not looking to buy a house, but I'm looking to talk to a realtor, and I wasn't able to cross paths with this person out there in the world playing phone tag, as Mr. Neal was talking about people that play phone tag. The great thing about realtors, you often know exactly where they are, sitting in the house all by themselves, waiting for someone to knock and allow them to take a tour. I just happened to be in the neighborhood, I arranged that I would happen to be in the neighborhood. And I walked and I met someone who I've been trying to get in contact with for a while. And I had a great tour. We had a great conversation, and I planted the seed. So back to the list, back to the priorities. Every single one of us knows people who are doing these as a profession, but we especially know people who are doing these things. And this is just to get that brain going. There are people who are popping into your head. There are categories that you're thinking about. Oh man, I remember that person. Those names, you should write them down immediately and get to talking to these people, because somebody is going to have a conversation with them about upgrading to solar. And I hope that it's you. Now, it's so easy, and some of these slides look familiar from the last training, but you probably forgot what I talked about last time. If you didn't take notes, if you didn't look at the recording, if you didn't apply what we talked about, that's what happens. So it's just the same basic systems of success over and over and over and over and over again until it actually sinks in and we start doing these things on a consistent basis. So many different things we could be doing. Hopping on a call on the Sunday afternoon, going out there and meeting new people, making those calls, getting utility bills, having conversations, doing presentations, all these things. But here's something I just realized about a half hour ago, Mr. Obi. This is what I just realized. I've never heard this said before, but I'm going to go ahead and make a bold statement. I truly believe that up until your first $30,000 to $50,000 of income, the only thing you are is a lead generator. You're a lead generator. You can call yourself an ambassador. You can call yourself a seller. You can call yourself an enterprise. You can call yourself whatever you want. But because of our business model that tells us we're not even allowed to sell by ourselves until we get to a certain level. And if you're really smart building this business properly, you don't necessarily want to get out there and do it all on your own prematurely. You're going to be probably into 3 to 5 to 8 to 10, probably 10, sales before you're actually out there all on your own as a tier 3 seller. So it's sometimes I need to just shake myself, take a step back and say, yes, I know where you're going. Yes, I know what you've done before. But in your role right now, all you really need to do is generate leads and get utility bills. Reach out to people who otherwise would not know about Powur yet, would not know about the opportunity to upgrade to solar yet, and you connect them with the people who know what they're doing, who are already proven sold sellers, and now we can get some work done. And as we are learning, yes, we can learn how to do the other things, but your primary role right now, if I'm not mistaken, most if not everybody on this call especially, you're a lead generator. Embrace it. Be proud. That's what you're doing. Yes, we're getting that information so that we can hand it off to a tier 3 seller so they can do their energy savings reports on presentations like this, and the one we're doing at the end of the top of the hour. We're doing business opportunity presentations to share the opportunity to people who want to be a part of the movement. And yes, we're enrolling ambassadors. So I'm not going to go into great detail about the ambassador program, most importantly because we already did it. Most of you are already on the call. I will refer you back to the recording that Mr. Obi made, such as he's recording this one, and I have it posted on my YouTube channel, and he has a link available to you. So if you just, the Stephen V. Richardson with no space, go to my YouTube page and look for this thumbnail and ambassador training. It'll tell you in detail for almost 60 minutes on how I have enrolled. I haven't even counted lately, maybe 60 or 70. I don't know. I haven't tracked. But let's just say I won't go into great detail, but I will go into a little. Let's see. Here are the concepts that I know I've shared before. Conceptually, I believe that everybody in my network either will be or should be an ambassador. What is an ambassador? As we all know, we have a program where that anybody who simply introduces a homeowner to us and allows us to walk them through the process of understanding what their options are regarding how much they possibly could save by upgrading to solar. And when we walk them through the process and they see that it makes sense, and then they sign on the dotted line, Once the system is installed, we'll be able to give the person who made the introduction $1,000. $1,000 for an introduction. That's the simplicity of it. Now, there is an art and a skill to enrolling ambassadors. First and foremost, my own personal opinion, I don't ever send out an invitation link. If you send out an invitation link to somebody who tells you, yes, I love it, I want to enroll to the program, send it to me right away. If you do that, the majority of the time, they will not enroll. They're going to immediately go into the witness protection program. You'll never see them again if you don't do it properly in the beginning. I don't send invitation links. I send welcome links because there's an art. Life and business is all about timing. Let's give an example. Let's say we're doing a business presentation. It is my personal opinion that every guest on a business presentation, by the end of the presentation, should be enrolled in the system as an ambassador. I do it all the time. How do you do it, Stephen? Simply, you have to have their email address before you start the presentation. Shouldn't be difficult. You already know who they are. You already have their phone number. All you have to do is casually say, hey, by the way, what's your email address? You don't need to tell them why. Don't even worry about it. I have acquired email addresses to people who I have not asked to enroll, invited to become ambassadors yet because the timing wasn't right. If you mess up the timing, you mess up the whole opportunity for you and for that person. So sometime before the presentation, I will always get their email address. Before the presentation starts, I go to my link on my phone in my note section. The first link pinged at the top is my personal ambassador invite link. I click on the link. I enter their first name, their last name, their language, their email, their phone number, their language, join. Now we can start the presentation. Haven't talked about the ambassador program yet. We're talking about, we build some rapport, we go through the presentation. When we talk about the ambassador program, here's exactly what I say, or just generally, because I don't necessarily go from scripts, but I do it over and over and over again, so it sounds like a script, I guess. So when we get to the ambassador part of the presentation, very simply, I'll say something like, hey, and as I just mentioned, we have a program. Actually, here's what I do. I cast the vision. It's all about the story we tell ourselves. It's all about the story we tell everybody else. So I cast a vision, and the vision is I personally have a goal to give away $50,000 of referral bonuses as part of my ambassador program. How can I say that? Well, I have a personal goal of having 50 ambassador sales over the next 12 months. I just put a name on it and be able to cast it and get people interested in it. So I'm having a presentation, we're talking about the ambassador program, and I say, and by the way, within the next 12 months, my personal goal is to give away $50,000 in referral bonuses. I call it Project 50,000. As a matter of fact, before we got started, I sent you an email. It's from Powur. Let me know if you got it. Take about 5 seconds to go to the email. Yep, got it. Hey, do me a huge favor. Click verify real quick to verify it's you. Create a password. Let me know when you're done. 30 seconds later, done. Cool. Congratulations. You are now an ambassador. All that means is no pressure, no expectations. But if you ever happen to come across somebody who's open to having a conversation with me to see if it makes sense on whether or not they should allow me to help them save tens of thousands of dollars off their energy costs by upgrading to solar, you make the introduction to me. I walk them through the process. I share some information. I answer all their questions. And if they're open to if they're open to allowing me to help them, great. As soon as the system's installed, I'll give you $1,000. Really? Yeah. This is in the middle of a presentation, by the way. And it is so smooth, it is so casual, it is so nonchalant that I sign people up every single time. So that's just an example of how I enroll people. So we'll kind of keep moving for a second. That's really, and at the very end, time for questions if you want to ask specific questions. But first and foremost, I refer you back to the training we did, and it's really that simple. It's just being prepared to do it at the right time. The only other thing I'll talk about is I have found it most effective when I am talking to somebody live or interacting with someone live via text or messaging. I will never send somebody the invitation link if I don't know that they're available. We all know that people don't do what they say they're going to do, even if they want to do it, if you don't help them. So that's why it has to be while we're talking to them. That's why also I'll always have their email address first. Having a conversation with somebody, I'm asking them how they're doing, how's their business, how's life. They're telling me eventually going to ask me how mine is. I'm saying, great. I'm really excited. And here's another thing. When I talk about my new role as being part of the renewable energy field, I don't say I just started renewable energy. I don't say I just joined a solar company. I don't say I just started something. I don't even say I just partnered with an organization. I say I expanded my consulting business to include renewable energy because it sounds good to me. Plus, that means I can tap in to my 30-year professional career of helping people either save money and earn money. And it doesn't sound like I'm starting something from scratch. For those of you out there who are realtors, I believe it is a powerful introduction to say that you have expanded your real estate business to include solar. It just makes sense. And when you say that, they're going to ask you, how's that going? How does that work? Why would you do that? You're already doing it extremely successful. That gives you an opportunity to talk about it. So back to the script. Jim Rome is somebody that I follow for a long time. Never met him in person. He's passed away a while ago. But I love some of his concepts, and I really love the concept of the law of the ratio, which, as you can see, says, do something enough times the ratio will appear, continue to do it, and the ratio tends to improve. So from this point, I'm just going to share with you a couple of random thoughts, but a couple of things that I'm doing as I build my foundation for where I'm going. And this is my definition of our process. Productive conversations, acquisition of utility bills, effective presentations, sold systems, installations. Now, I need to know what my number is in order to know how hard I have to work. So I have done surveys, I've done my research, I've talked to a lot of people who are successful in Powur, and here are the numbers I'm receiving from the successful tier 3 sellers in our organization. Approximately, these are people who are doing it well, by the way. And if we have somebody who's off mute, it'd be a huge favor if you could ever make sure you're on mute. Here's what I've seen. Approximately 20% of the productive conversations we have turn into the acquisition of a utility bill. Approximately 80% of the utility bills that we receive turn into an effective presentation. 20% of the effective presentations we give turn into a system being sold, a contract being signed. And about 95% of the contracts that we've signed, meaning the system's been sold, do they actually get installed? Now, these numbers are nice to see, but I don't know what that means for what I can do for me. So I asked ChatGPT, hey, if you have a system that includes these steps, that have these percentages of conversion, what do I have to do to get one system sold? These are the numbers. In order to sell one system with those previous percentages, I have to have 33 productive conversations, which should turn into 7 utility bills, which should turn into 6 effective presentations, which should get at least one system sold. So if you're not doing at least 33 productive conversations in a month, it's not surprising you haven't sold anything yet. Now, here's the catch, because there's always a catch, right? None of our numbers are this good. It's actually a lot harder than it shows here. These are people who've been doing it for a while. Some of them a very long time. These are people who are having productive conversations, who are getting utility bills right away, who once we get them to the table to give them to share the energy savings report, we do our thing and do what we're supposed to do and answer all the questions and handle all the objections, and we're able to close 2 out of 10 systems. We're not that good yet, but I still at least have to have a number that I can go at. So the question that I ask myself, I challenge you to do the same, is, are my dreams and goals big enough and important enough to at least do this much? To at least put enough people into play so that I can allow the numbers to work on my behalf. Now, another random thing I was just thinking about the other day. I don't think I've shared this with this yet. And this is something where I'm sharing with you some things that I'm doing in my preparation mode as I'm going out there and reconnecting with people, meeting new people, getting utility bills, making introductions, having proposals in the system. This is the things that I'm thinking about and things that I'm doing. So I'm thinking to myself, if you've ever seen a Powur presentation, the part that's most important to me, and I believe the most important to the homeowner, is really glossed over the majority of the time. Forgive me if that's just my personal experience and observations. We're talking about the system. We're talking about how much they're using. We're talking about all the breakers and the panels and the inverters and all kind of great stuff and all the great things we've done and all this kind of stuff put all together, and almost as a throwaway line at the very end to say, and by the way, this is how much you're saving. Do you want to buy it? So I'm personally, once again, this is just something I'm thinking through. And normally I don't share things that I haven't proven successful, but there's some people on this phone who are talking to so many people and doing so many productive things. I want to kind of just put this in the back of your mind that this is just what I'm doing. So here's the question I asked myself the other day. If a homeowner says that his number one reason for considering upgrading to solar is to save money, which it is the majority of the time, yeah, they want to save the planet. Yes, they want to lock in the rates. Yes, I get that. But the main reason that they're sitting down at the table, the main reason they say yes, is to save money, right? If that's the case, wouldn't it be helpful to know what he's already committed to paying so that accurate comparisons can be made? What does that mean? It means that if I know, and if you know what the true average cost of their monthly utility bill is. Personally, I get 12 months. I know a lot of people out there are satisfied with one. That's a different conversation. But if you have an accurate number you can use for their monthly costs, this is a real cost from somebody I have in play. This is an example of somebody whose monthly utility bill out here in California, $389.92. They got 3 kids, they got a pool, they got an electric vehicle, lots of stuff going on. If you estimated the annual increase is 4%, I know that inflation is a little bit less than that, but in PG&E country out here in California, the utility companies have already raised their rates 12.8% this year. So conservatively, and this is the number that our vision tool, I think, uses as a default, is 4%. This is how much they're paying. This is how much at year 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. The next thing is, this is how much they'll be spending if this is their average cost now, and it's increased 4% every single year. We're saying, Mr. Homeowner, you've already made a decision. You're already committed to paying $194,000 over the next 25 years for your energy if they only increase by 4% a year. This is what I'm trying to help you save some of this money. If you didn't have to spend this money and you can save a lot of it, would that be interest of you? So how did I get these numbers? I asked ChatGPT. I don't use it to do cute things and cute pictures. I ask it to think for me, to do math. So I don't know if that was helpful for anybody, but final questions as we kind of wrap this thing up. Question for you. What are you doing to build your brand? Now, my personal definition of brand is what people are thinking when they think about you. What people think when they think about you, that's your brand. So that's why we do out in the world. On a call, if I'm not mistaken, it was a Building with Bobby that actually happened way before I became part of the platform. But silly me, if I know that a recorded call has a lot of value in it, I'm going to go into the archives and I'm going to listen to all the previous calls. So on a Building with Bobby that probably happened 2 years ago, somebody just happened to mention you should take pictures in front of solar panels. Now, I posted a video in the group. You probably see what I'm doing on social media. People believe what they see. Let's give them something to believe. I didn't say I sold all these systems. I just take a picture in front of a solar panel with a big smile and say it's another beautiful day. And people are going to think what they're going to think. But this is part of building my brand, transitioning from what people know me from before. And it's just fun. It's just cool. People are sending me congratulations, saying, keep up the great work. You're doing a great job. I am establishing my brand as someone who is not only successful doing other things, but also in renewable energy. I am the go-to guy. What else do I do? Power Pioneers. All of us are part of the Power Pioneers platform. It's where a lot of the announcements are made, a lot of success stories are shared. I will see a post, especially you can't put a post on Power Pioneers about one of our business partners who has saved a homeowner money without me capturing it, saving it, repurposing it, and using it for my personal fuel of belief and also my personal branding campaign. Now, I don't share it. I copy it and repurpose it. Don't get lazy. So one of our partners saved a homeowner, is saving the process of saving a homeowner $344,000. That's something I think we should celebrate. You get a caption, you put it out there, and I'm establishing my brand as I'm continuing to do what I'm doing in the trenches. We had another one out there posted about one of our business partners who helped a homeowner get through some blackouts over there in the East Coast. And I have a little caption, I have a picture. I didn't say this was my customer. I didn't say I'm in Florida, but this is what I'm doing to leverage the success stories that are happening. What are you doing to build your brand? I have a YouTube page. I'm putting all this stuff in the contents. It's, whether it's a training or the calls, this will be up there pretty soon as I have access to it. And I'm just establishing, because if someone wants to know about power or even solar, where are they going to go? They're going to go to Google, but they're more likely to go to YouTube, number 2 search engine on the planet. So when somebody interested in power, I want them to find me, because there aren't that many people in our organization yet who are creating any content, let alone good content. Now let's talk about what's probably the most important part. I am building my belief. I think I might have a slide in the wrong place, but I'm doing things to build my belief. I have folders on my phone about things that inspire me, that get me fired up, the places I want to go, the people I want to help, the things I want to buy, the experiences I want to have. And I have these all over in my phone. I have pictures all over the place, and I'm thinking of them about all the time, all the time. That's what I'm doing to build my belief. What are you doing to build your belief? You have no idea how crazy I am about positivity, how crazy I am about positive words, images, and emotions all day, everywhere. I have it in my car. I have it in my wallet. I have it on my phone. I have it on my mirror. I have it on my closet. I have it up on my bed, everywhere. Why I'm happy and grateful. Who I am, who I was, who I'm becoming. I'm having all the positive feelings everywhere, all day, everywhere. I'm talking to myself all the time. In my world, the concept of a diamond has power for me. Haven't been able to get that into the terminology of tier 3, but whatever your goal of becoming is, my challenge for you is to speak like it, think like it, believe like it, work like it, sacrifice it, serve like it, produce like it, feel like it, speak it, and possibly you'll put yourself in the position to actually be it in the physical one day. I talk to myself all day, every day, everywhere, one positive word at a time, thought at a time, belief, image, interaction, experience, failure, goal, day at a time, over and over and over. Congratulations, Stevie, you did. I'm so proud of you, Steven. I believe in you. I see images when I'm driving out in the street. I go past an address in San Francisco that has this big sign that has the address. It says 3. Immediately, my mind says, tier 3, gotta get my shirt, gotta stand to it. This is my vision of what tier 3 is to me. So I'm gonna put images all around me that inspire me. They don't mean anything to anybody else with me. What does this photo mean? It means, Stephen, fly high like an eagle above the clouds. Stephen, you don't have to be the smartest or the brightest or the prettiest, but you can be the king. Stephen, keep moving. You got to move. You got to do income producing activities all day, every day, all the time. You have to have the skin of a rhinoceros. You just keep going. Do you see how maniacal I am? How I just put all these words, I just create all these images to keep positive, to remind myself the people, the situations, the circumstances that I'm happy and grateful for, including the challenges, the setbacks, the haters, the non-supporters, everything. I'm happy and grateful for all of it because I feel amazing. I feel strong. I feel believing all day, everywhere. I'm doing this all the time. I've done the hard work, the quiet work of challenging myself on why are you here? What is the purpose of your life? And to be able to articulate it, because if you want somebody to join you on your journey, shouldn't you be able to say where you're going? How are you going to be able to have lead somebody if their vision of where they want to go can't fit within yours? So the purpose of my life is to create a legacy of happiness, health, and success for generations of my family by empowering others to do the same for theirs while positively impacting the lives of millions of people, directly and indirectly helping them feel better, believe bigger, and achieve more. So if somebody wants to create a legacy of happiness, health, and success for their family, then that's part of something I might help them be able to do. I know I have to remind myself over and over and over again that Stephen, that Rod, that Emma, all of you, we have chosen a path that is lonely, that most of us will not, most people will not speak, think, believe, sacrifice, or work like us. And guess what? That's okay. I'm driving just going somewhere. I go through this neighborhood and it's called Diamond Heights. Crazy people like me, I pull to the side of the road, stop what I'm doing, I go next to it, and I say, I believe in you. Stephen, I believe in you. I'm visiting my mom, getting some wisdom. I see something there. This is what I do all the time. There was a little video that was put out, I think, last week, talking about the Powur world, and it was celebrating the millionaire club. What do I do? In that very like a 3-second period of time, this popped up on the screen. What do crazy people like I do? I record it, I screenshot it, and I use it for fuel. Why? Because if they can do it, I can do it. If he can do it, if I can do it. If she can do it, I can do it. Then what do? Next step, I start celebrating. Congratulations, Stephen. You are the member of the $1 Million Club. I'm going to make a prediction. I come from a world where you have to earn $1 million in 12 months to get a ring. In Powur, thank you very much, you can do it as your cumulative just lifetime earnings. That's a lot easier for me. So here's my prediction, Rod. Right now, they're giving out jackets. I promise you, when I become a millionaire in this business, I'm making my ring. I'm showing it. And if they don't have a ring yet for $1 million earners, the next year, I bet you every single one of $1 million earners has a ring because it's pretty cool. I trust the process. I know that the best is just for come from me and everybody else. I know that 90 days of massive, focused, productive activity can change everything in your life and in your business. I like to finish with this. I share this with as many people as I can. I remind myself all the time, if you stick around long enough, every single one of these things is going to happen to you, and it's a valid reason to quit. People like Mr. Obi, people like Mr. Neal, people who have been around for a while, Ms. Emma, who've been around for a while, they've seen each and every one of these things on their path to greatness. When certain people don't support you, when health challenges arise for people you care about, when people who you trusted betray you, when the dream killers attack you, when your friends desert you, when you unplug from the system, when cash flow ain't flowing. I won't read this whole thing, but each and every one of these are valid reasons to quit. And the challenges are your goals and dreams bigger than the challenges that are going to come. I just look at this and say, okay, so what? And I keep on going. I am so excited I am so fired up, not just about what's going to happen in my life and my family's life, but the fact that I know the people who are on this call. I know the people who are going to attract into this business. I know how we're going to, let's just say, have all the different types of people be celebrated for success in this business. And I know that this is going to happen right here and right now. So I just got to say, come on, Rod. Come on. Come on, Rod.
Woo!
Come on, Emma. Come on, everybody. I know what it's like to have an organization and bring them to a meeting. This is a personal group I had in a different thing. Here's what I love about this picture. The thing I love about this picture the most is every single person in this picture, except for one lady, eventually quit. But they quit after we did millions of dollars of business. They quit after they personally benefited in many ways, and they quit, and we're still good friends, except for some of them who have already passed away. So let's get going. All roads. Here's me again, seeing a photo, capturing it, saving it, using it for fuel. I am so excited to be part of Powur. I am so excited to be welcomed into the dream team, even though officially I'm not in your personal organization. But anything I can do for any single person on here, I'm here for you, because I truly believe we are one team, we are one dream. And that's what I want to share with you today. So back to you, Mr. Obi.
Wow, that was awesome.
Brother, that was fire. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Richardson. Wow. Wow. Guys, can y'all come off mute and thank Mr. Richardson? Thank you so much for that,
Thank
Steve.
you, Mr. Richardson.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Brother, I need some asbestos gloves, brother. I can't handle this room
Thank
right now.
you.
It's hot.
Thank you. Thank you.
That
Thank
was
you very
fire.
much.
Jesus.
Wow.
This is how we do it.
I had to run outside in the rain to cool off.
Wow.
Thank